It's Friday, December 27th, 2024. Thanks for tuning in today. I want to get right into some of the news today. Printed up a bunch of articles. Feel free to comment down below on any of this. Markets across the board in the red. Dow Jones was down around 300, NASDAQ down around 300. But the real concerning news is the 10-year bond yield, which as I make this video is sitting at 4.63%. This is definitely a red flag. It is warning of some trouble. I believe the bond market is telling us that it's very worried about inflation. And why should we be concerned about the 10-year bond yield? Well, because if you're borrowing money to buy a house, a car, you're carrying debt on your credit cards, well, this is all based off the 10-year bond yield. So if the 10-year bond yield is going up, the cost to borrow money, the cost to service debt is going up. So very, very concerning here. And a lot of people say if we hit 5%, the wheels are going to come off of everything. So we'll keep an eye on that. But the real news now is the 10-year Treasury, and maybe Monday, maybe the Fed will get back in here, start buying up bonds and cool everything down, or maybe they won't. Maybe things are going to change now that this new administration is coming in. And what I find interesting is now the closer we get with this new administration, January 20th, we're beginning to see a lot more volatility in the stock market. Bond yields climbing up a lot. So this is going to be very, very interesting. And I'm just wondering if we're going to see some big trouble in the markets in 2025, and they will blame it on the new administration. The economic lookout for 2025 is strong, but there's still a lot that could go wrong. This on CNBC today. Do you believe that the economic lookout for 2025 is strong? I don't know, because here's an article here. U.S. may face bankruptcy if situation with national debt does not change. Elon Musk. He says this, we either fix it or we go de facto bankrupt. I don't know, is that a good outlook for 2025 now that we're at over $36 trillion in debt as a nation? I don't know if the outlook is that good. If you go by the manipulated data, maybe. But in the real world, things don't look so good for the average American. Here's another one. From the Hill and the AP. Homelessness hits record high this year amid affordable housing shortage. Homelessness this year is up 18%. That is a staggering number, ladies and gentlemen. That is not a strong economy. This is a crumbling economy. 18%. Here's another one. U.S. retail sales surge over holiday season as retailers ramp up promotions, says MasterCard. Retail sales rose by nearly 4% year over year. This is unbelievable. People continue to spend money they don't have. They cannot control themselves. All those promotions entice shoppers this holiday season to spend money they didn't have. According to MasterCard, shoppers splurged on the number one thing, jewelry. 2 was electronics, 3 was apparel. All of this was up from last year. Credit card debt is skyrocketing. So when people ask, how are they paying for this? Things must be good. People are out spending. They're spending with plastic. I mean, people have 5, 10, 15, 20 credit cards, and they're using them, and they don't care. They are going to continue to party until they no longer can party. And so when you look at restaurants and you go, oh, the restaurants are full, the malls are full. You know who's at those restaurants and malls? A lot of broke people. That's who's out there spending. Broke people. Not everyone, but a lot of them at those restaurants, those bars, taking those vacations, going to the malls, buying the electronics, buying the jewelry. They're broke. Credit card debt set to hit record levels as consumer holiday spending rises. Consumers on track to set a spending record this month, December. 36% of Americans went into debt this season. Does that tell you all you need to know right there? People are spending money that are broke. Broke people are spending money and they're going deeper into debt. So spending between November 1st and December 31st is estimated to be between $979 billion to $989 billion. You might as well just say $1 trillion. Broke Americans went out and spent nearly $1 trillion with their credit cards to buy Christmas gifts. Many shoppers are going to find out and come to the realization in January when they're paying 23, 25, 30% of these cards that they made another big mistake. The average shopper spent $1,181. Credit card balances were already up before this even took place. Credit card balances were already up 8.1% from last year. People just don't learn. Think about some of these numbers. Half of this country does not even have $500 in cash. But a lot of these people went out and spent over $1,000 on Christmas gifts. 80% of this country lives paycheck to paycheck, and they went deeper into debt buying Christmas gifts. It's unbelievable how the retailers can entice people, bamboozle people to pull those plastic cards out and just spend away. De Beers diamond inventory soars to highest since 2008 financial crisis as prices plummet. Interesting. Production cut 20% this year. 3 weeks ago, De Beers was forced to cut diamond prices 10 to 15%, taking wholesale diamond prices down to a stunning 40% in the past 2 years. So that's unbelievable. Wholesale diamond prices are down 40% in the past 2 years. What's contributing to the slowdown? It says here, slow sales in China, lab-grown diamonds, and less people getting married. So a whole industry there is seeing big trouble. Market Watch, all these market indicators point to stocks struggling during Trump's presidency. I think they're getting us ready for something. Let me know your thoughts, comment down below, but just some of the volatility that we're beginning to see now in the past couple weeks. We saw more of it today, bond yields skyrocketing. Some of these articles coming out already getting us warmed up for some corrections in 2025. I really do believe, and I don't make predictions, but I do see big trouble for the stock market in 2025. And you know they're going to throw this right in the administration's lap. I think you're going to see a big rug pull. I think this is now when we begin to see the truth of unemployment, the truth with housing, the truth with inflation, the truth with debt. This is when we're going to start getting the real data. And I think the Fed is not going to be a very good friend to Mr. Trump. Just my opinion. Look, I'm optimistic. I hope that we see some really good changes in 2025, but I think that we're going to see some big trouble with the stock market, and I believe the economy is going to continue on its downward spiral. Trump to end work from home for federal employees as corporate America takes action. So you either come back to the office or you are dismissed, according to Mr. Trump. During the health crisis, 2.3 million federal employees shifted away from traditional office spaces and they went and worked in their homes. A lot of these people sitting at home, taking bubble baths, a lot of people hitting the golf course, a lot of people, out at the parks, walking their dogs, going out to lunch, doing, whatever they want to do, hanging out at the malls, whatever they're doing, going to Starbucks. I don't know what these people are doing, but look, these people work for us. And honestly, I think these people need to be back at the office. We need optimization. We need to know that these people are doing their jobs to the fullest extent and that they're being looked after, and knowing that the American people are getting the most out of their money. And if you don't like it, you are dismissed, but you work for us. And the American people want you back to work. Many people have to go to work. Like if you're a landscaper, if you're a plumber, a construction worker, you're a truck driver, whatever, you got to go to work. You have to leave your house and go to work. So why do these people think they're prima donnas? They work for us. And the American people want you to go back to work. And they want you to optimize the most work possible. We want optimization at this point. We want to get the most work out of our federal workers. And it's not going to happen when you're at home taking a bubble bath. You need to be in the office. And if you don't like that, you are dismissed. Goodbye. And many of you are going to be dismissed no matter what. Because one thing we all know this administration is about to do, and it is about to cut the fat. And a lot of these jobs are going to be gone. We are going to see a surge in unemployment in America, that is for sure. Mark Zuckerberg denies Hawaii doomsday bunker existence, calls it a little shelter. So he has this 1,500-acre ranch in Kauai, Hawaii. He calls it a little shelter, but 1,500 acres. Now, you have to ask yourself, does he know something that most people do not? You look at a lot of these billionaires, and they all have these elaborate bunkers, these getaways. Does he know something? And you have to ask yourself, too, if you're not a billionaire, multi-millionaire, is there anything you can do to prepare? Most people cannot, live on 1,500 acres with a bunker. But there are always things the average person can do. And there was a good article that came out the other day on the economiccollapse.com. They give a list of 24 things that you will desperately need in case something happens. And I added a few things myself, but I mean, the list should be much more than 24. But, I think we could all start out with, first off, my number one. It says here, emergency food. Wonderful. My number one is security, because if you cannot protect your food and water, your family, your assets, you're done. So my number one prep is definitely security. Then you could get into emergency food, water filtration system, matches, something to start a fire with. I think a big one here, trauma kit, have a tourniquet, have multiple tourniquets in your trauma kit. Supply of antibiotics, that is a really good idea. Have antibiotics, also vitamins put away, maybe some protein powders. Another really, really good one, a good knife. I've talked about this many, many times. Owning a good knife is vital. It's important. Flashlight, shortwave radio, axe, duct tape, a Bible, cash, a gas mask. I think a gas mask, probably some zip ties in case you have to detain people. Gas mask, super, super important. Bear spray, very, very important. So if you're dealing with hostile people, you have to, maybe you're not going lethal, but you're going to use some bear spray. Definitely have a mask. Very, very important. If you're in a situation with tear gas, also mask, extremely important. So these are just a few things. Add whatever you want. Comment down below, maybe on your top 3, top 5 preps, something that you would like to add to this list. But I think that right here, this is probably a really, really good start. And it really does not break your bank account. This really, right here, if you have this stuff right here, you are ahead of probably 99% of America. So just a few things to think about right there. But as we are watching things continue to erupt in the Middle East, things continue to erupt over in Eastern Europe, we still have things flying in our skies over here that nobody knows what they are, what they're looking for. I think that really adding to your preps in 2025, as we are getting very, very close to 2025, this is the time to start topping off. Some of the things on this list that you may not have, maybe you add to them immediately. 3 to 6 months of food for sure. I think a year is better. Make sure that you have food for your pets also. And make sure that you're adding to your skill sets. Make sure that you're out training, that you're getting better with your tools, get yourself conditioned, get those defensive skills, very, very important. I'm going to finish up with this last article from the New York Post. Animal lover beaten to death on Christmas Eve while trying to save dog from abusive neighbor. And this is just another reason why you must be preparing. We are living in a very, very evil time in our history. This, to me, doesn't even look like America at this point, with some of the atrocities that are taking place socially right here in America. This is just demonic, evil people that just, we talk about that pizza delivery driver who attacked that pregnant woman and almost took her life over a tip. What people are willing to do and how far they are willing to escalate a situation, taking a life, going to prison, they don't care. Look at the police pulling somebody over for speeding. People are literally willing to get into a shootout over a speeding ticket with the police at this point. This is what we're dealing with in our society today here in the United States of America. Robert Bobby Kavanaugh, Madison Heights, Michigan, was riding his bike around his neighborhood when he spotted a neighbor beating a dog. He rushed to intervene, but then the attacker, the neighbor, attacked him with a pipe. So first off, you have to be a very evil person to beat an animal, a dog. Absolutely evil. And you've got to be very, very careful now in today's society, intervening in things, the legalities of this. This situation, this guy pulled a pipe out and beat this Good Samaritan to death. Just pure evil. Pure evil. Robert Bobby Kavanaugh, rest in peace. It's a shame that good people like this who step up and intervene, that this person lost their life. Really, really, on Christmas. It's unbelievable. Christmas Eve. I'm sure his family is just absolutely devastated and destroyed. But it is a reminder to all of us, you have to be careful out there. Be careful, when you're out in public, when you're driving. The road rage incidences are just out of this world now, and people will escalate things. So if you get involved in something, you better be ready, because things could escalate very quickly and to a very, very extreme level. And so be careful out there. It's sad, because who wouldn't intervene when you see somebody beating a dog? I mean, I probably would too. Really, really sad. And if we don't have good people stepping up, protecting women, children, animals, then these evil demonic people are going to continue to assault and hurt women, children, and animals. We got to have good people. You got to have the sheepdogs out there that step up, because the police aren't always going to be there. And sometimes it's good people, the sheepdog, that is the one that responds to this. And unfortunately, Mr. Kavanaugh lost his life over this. So be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. This is why it's so imperative that you have the proper tools, that you have the proper training, especially if you intervene in a situation like this. Otherwise, unfortunately, you better just call the police and step away, because it's just not worth it. So let me know your thoughts on this. It's really, really sad. These people, this family is never going to forget this, especially that this happened on Christmas Eve. But rest in peace, Mr. Kavanaugh. You did something that most people probably would not do, and unfortunately, it went the wrong way. Really, really sad. I'm going to leave it there today. Again, let me know your thoughts on any of this. Let me know your thoughts on, some important things we could be adding to our preps right now. Let me ask you this too before we leave. Where do you see the economy in 2025 and the stock market? Stock market and economy. Are we going to see the stock market continue with these all-time highs while the economy crumbles, or is the economy going to crumble and the stock market's going to crumble? Let me know your theories on this. And let me know how you're preparing, what preps we should be adding. Have a wonderful day. Be careful out there. Exercise situational awareness. And God bless America. Be praying for this country. Be praying for this administration coming in. We still have, about 20 some odd days before the inauguration. Who knows what can happen? I know a lot of people are very, very worried right now what could happen in the next 3.5 weeks. Be careful. Take care.